We are today presenting after COVID waves of reaction. Thanks a lot to Florian from Astorya and all our French colleagues today we join. We have been closing a partnership with Florian and all the French Insurtech environment, and we believe this to be first event of a long-term series of opportunities to present each other together and to create knowledge together. So the first part will be in Italian. So I would like to excuse myself with our French colleagues, and I will try to sum up. Anyhow, the presentation is in English, so I hope that also our French colleagues will be able to follow properly. We are presenting today a research that the Italian Insurtech Association has finalized about the millennials and after Covid reaction. Dunque, come gli associati sanno, abbiamo finalizzato una ricerca in relazione ai cambi di abitudine di approccio dei millennials dopo il Covid. Abbiamo interessato un campione statistico e ottenuto una serie di informazioni che sono state sintetizzate in 50 domande. Oggi vi presenterò un estratto nuovo di risposte rispetto a quelle preventivamente condivise. Diciamo che sostanzialmente il campione di millennials che è stato intervistato è un campione omogeneo, quindi sia per educazione che per professione che per area geografica. Quindi è un campione rappresentativo. Ricordiamoci che i millennials sono tutti coloro che avevano 18 anni nel 2000, quindi hanno oggi una fascia d'età fra 23 e 38. Sono tipicamente divisi da un punto di vista commerciale come target market in due fasce, dai 23 ai 30 e dai 30 ai 38. Sono una fascia giovane, non giovanissima, però rappresenta il consumatore del futuro. Quindi perché il millennial è importante? Nei prossimi 10 anni, nei prossimi 10-20, i flussi commerciali verranno prevalentemente nei millennials. La situazione non è una situazione molto positiva per quanto riguarda l'approccio alle assicurazioni. Infatti, diciamo che la penetrazione in termini di utilizzo dell'assicurazione vede una penetrazione delle motor insurance significativa ma inferiore a quello che erano rispetto a quello che è su altri target, e una penetrazione su PNC abbastanza bassa, ma ancora più bassa per quanto riguarda life and health. La situazione è una situazione abbastanza analoga a quella che emerge negli altri paesi, dove si nota un ingaggio, si è sempre visto un ingaggio più basso dei millennials rispetto ai prodotti assicurativi. Questo è prevalentemente dovuto non solo alle modalità di distribuzione, che sono tipicamente intermediate, quindi non digitali, ma anche all'offerta, che è un'offerta tradizionale non digitale. Ricordiamoci che il millennials ha una media attitudine all'utilizzo degli strumenti digitali, che abbiamo già ampiamente discusso in altri eventi. Il Covid-19 ha modificato una serie di comportamenti di consumo. Prima di tutto, è uno shock per il lifestyle dei millennials, è un'opportunità per la centralità del settore, l'esigenza di protezione da parte di tutti i target, inclusi i millennial, ai massimi storici. E alcuni trend, come la digitalizzazione, tutti i modelli di consumo attorno al digitale, stanno esplodendo. Questa è una grande opportunità per il settore assicurativo al fine di penetrare alcune aree di settore come appunto i millennials. I trend, oltre alla digitalizzazione, sono chiari. Siamo in un momento di multimobility e micromobility, IoT e connected device, sharing economy e tutto quello che concerne altri elementi. Inoltre, da un punto di vista quantitativo, abbiamo assistito a una serie di dati estremamente importanti durante il Covid e ancora adesso, legati a un incremento significativo in termini quantitativi delle polizze digitali, sia in termini percentuali che assoluti rispetto al passato. Ricordiamoci che non c'è solamente un tema di penetrazione, ma anche di innovazione dell'offerta. Quasi 2 milioni di italiani sono stati assicurati rispetto a polizze Covid che prima non esistevano. Se ora entriamo nel vivo, ricordiamoci che sostanzialmente il campione è omogeneo e l'analisi è stata condotta nel mese di giugno. Quindi diciamo, cosa da questa chart si nota immediatamente un cambio di approccio rispetto alle protezioni assicurative after Covid. Prima all'interesse al comprare una assicurazione che non fosse RC Auto era sostanzialmente molto basso. A valle del periodo di Covid, evidentemente il bisogno di protezione è aumentato, l'approccio alla situazione è cambiato e l'interesse ad acquistare prodotti assicurativi non auto è aumentato in modo significativo. Quindi c'è una grande opportunità per il mondo assicurativo sul target dei millennials. Era qualcosa, diciamo, già in atto con la digitalizzazione, ma è aumentata molto. Inoltre emerge un enorme senso di timore, diciamo di rischio e quindi una conseguente esigenza di protezione. Ci sono degli elementi fondamentali legati alle paure, quindi sulla salute, sul lavoro, sulla famiglia, sul futuro, sull'economic, e ci sono, diciamo, una serie di elementi che il millennial mette in campo per proteggersi e diciamo, la social distancing, diciamo, ovviamente maschere e diciamo, strumenti, ma anche assicurazione health. Quindi diciamo, per la prima volta le analisi top of mind dei millennials cominciamo a vedere l'esigenza di assicurarsi. Diciamo, d'altra parte però c'è una bassissima conoscenza del mondo assicurativo. Se chiediamo ai millennial dove comprerebbero un'assicurazione, non hanno una grande sensibilità di dove possono comprarla. Quindi il company website della compagnia, ad esempio, viene considerato come elemento principale. Noi oggi sappiamo benissimo che non è. Comparatori, Amazon, Google, propria banca. Quindi c'è una tendenza a evidentemente collocare il luogo fisico di acquisto dell'assicurazione presso un canale digitale che è alla portata del millennial. Tutto questo mostra una grande predisposizione al digitale, ma anche poca consapevolezza di quelli che sono i flussi di acquisto di un prodotto assicurativo. D'altra parte, però, domanda numero 7, se gli viene posto dove la compreresti, evidentemente al 52% su internet, al 25% on the phone. Domanda 8, diciamo, qual è la tua sostanzialmente conoscenza del prodotto assicurativo? Una conoscenza molto molto bassa, quindi diciamo c'è un problema, come abbiamo detto, non solo di offerta, non solo di canale, ma di educazione. Se chiediamo poi ai millennials cosa andrebbero a assicurarsi, beh, il primo elemento è la bicicletta, quindi sostanzialmente molto interessante, d'altra parte siamo figlia del periodo, ski, diciamo, strumenti musicali, electronic device, la casa, borse, gli occhiali. Mi emerge un'esigenza di protezione, ma una scarsissima informazione. Diciamo, quali pensano possano essere i problemi dell'assicurazione? Beh, sicuramente il linguaggio non chiaro, anche ci si esprime in termini estremamente negativi, sono delle frodi. Quindi c'è una scarsa conoscenza, ma c'è anche una consapevolezza che la struttura e l'offerta della compagnia assicurativa non è adeguata a quelle che sono le esigenze attuali del millennial. Quali sono però gli elementi chiave che il millennial valuta sul prodotto assicurativo? Beh, il prezzo, la chiarezza del prodotto, i servizi addizionali, la semplicità. Sostanzialmente emerge un'esigenza di base di repackaging di quella che è l'offerta assicurativa. Quali sono gli elementi che secondo il millennial il Covid ha veramente cambiato? Beh, il rischio salute, l'assenza di lifestyle e di vacanze, e quindi è un mondo più noioso. Sostanzialmente emerge questo in termini di risposta. Ma il tema della salute, prima, qualche mese fa, non veniva posto il primo piano, ora è al 51%. Questo è un radicale cambio di mentalità da parte di una generazione che rappresenterà il consumo del futuro, quindi deve essere considerato come un elemento cardine nell'ambito di questa analisi, ma diciamo come input della struttura assicurativa del futuro. Dove dovrebbero essere le spese maggiori, diciamo, in questo frangente di questa situazione di protezione? Bene, le medicine, quindi c'è una consapevolezza del rischio e un budget allocato nelle medicine. Attenzione, al 37% c'è l'health insurance. Quindi sostanzialmente non solo c'è una consapevolezza del rischio, non solo c'è diciamo, un timore di base, ma c'è anche la consapevolezza di andare a allocare un possibile budget verso prodotti per cui prima non c'era budget, come i prodotti assicurativi. Per ora, diciamo, il top of mind è salute centric. Quali sono, diciamo, cosa ci si aspetta dalla compagnia assicurativa del futuro per i millenni? L'affidabilità, che sia digitale, che sia tecnologica, che sia veloce, che sia moderna e che paghi. Okay? Ma attenzione, paghi al 33%, liable al 59%, online, mobile al 52%. E come si è visto per altri settori, il millennials valuta molto la user experience e in primis la Always Connect e la user experience, in secondo i termini economici. Quando comprereste la propria assicurazione? Al lavoro, nel weekend, la sera. Quindi un comportamento di acquisto che è tipico del millennial su altri settori e non prevede, diciamo, laddove possibile, l'intervento umano da parte di terzi. Quindi, diciamo, oltre a questo esce un quadro, ahimè, di estrema preoccupazione per il futuro, sia sul segmento 18-28 che sul segmento 29-30. Incertezza, di paura, di rischio, di assenza di tempo libero e di, diciamo, di precarietà. Okay? D'altra parte, diciamo, ho una consapevolezza che tutto questo implicherà un cambio di vita, cose che potremmo fare, ad esempio dedicare tempo a noi, cose che non potremmo fare, ad esempio uscire. Quindi c'è un cambio radicale. È importante che il settore assicurativo sia consapevole di questo cambio radicale. Questo, diciamo, creerà una modifica dell'offerta, una modifica dei modelli distributivi e una modifica dei modelli relazionali con questo segmento che, ripeto, oggi cuba fra il 30 e il 35%, come ho avuto in varie occasioni modo di dire, ma nel 2030 sarà all'85%, nel 2040 sarà al 100% del consumo dell'industria assicurativa. Ma tutto questo, diciamo, sta portando a un adeguamento dell'offerta. Gli investimenti in Insurtech sono cresciuti e qui voglio rappresentare poche chart che lasciano il campo ai miei colleghi francesi. Sostanzialmente dal 2010 al 2019 sono stati investiti 18 miliardi sull'Insurtech, gli investimenti sono stati allocati prevalentemente in Nord America, in Asia, in Europa solamente il 16% del totale, solamente il 16%. Di questo 16%, ahimè, l'Italia è una delle aree meno floride. In Italia abbiamo un investimento di 0,1 milioni, quindi di 100 milioni, rispetto ai 900 dello UK, ai 900 della Germania e ai 300 della Francia. Quindi, diciamo, anche a livello di iniziative di start-up censite, 98 UK, 44 in Germania, 23 in Francia, in Italia solamente 11. Siamo quindi, sebbene un contesto mondiale di grandissima crescita, siamo abbastanza penalizzati. Ma questo dà, diciamo, adito a delle riflessioni. Startup Insurtech finanziate 4 verso una media europea di 17. Numero di assicurazioni che hanno visto startup 1 verso una media di 4,5, ma soprattutto percentuale di CEO, assicurazioni che vedono Insurtech come priorità 15 rispetto a 65. Percentuale di investimenti in tecnologia sui ricavi 4 verso 13 europei. Presenza in compagnie di una struttura dedicata all'innovazione 15. Siamo in una situazione di poco adeguamento rispetto a quelle che sono le priorità Insurtech internazionali. Una grande esigenza di muoverci. Da qui una serie di iniziative di confronto con realtà internazionali che stanno sviluppando esattamente come avviene in Italia, ma probabilmente con maggiore velocità, con più incisività. E lascio ora la parola. I will leave now the word to my colleague Florian, co-founder of Astorya, that is a partner of Italian Insurtech Association, and today has been supporting us, coordinating the event, and will now take the ground and introduce itself and this partner. Thank you so much, Florian.
Can you Can you hear me? Okay, so basically, hi everybody. Thanks for having me. So basically, what I will do is share a bit of an overview of what's has been going through the European Insurtech scene, especially with a focus on the first half of this year. So quick reminder of who I am and why I'm, let's say, taking the lead on this kind of discussion. So basically, I've been running Astorya for a bit more than a year and a half with my partner Jan. So what we are doing is that we are investing, long story short, in Insurtech across Europe. So everything related to insurance, everywhere in Europe, that includes the UK and Switzerland. And we are investing at early stage. We could even say seed stage. Basically, we invest when the product is ready. And we try to, let's say, find the first customers with the startup in which we have invested. So that's for us. So I go through three parts. The first one is just to remind you a few KPIs around what is Insurtech, and especially in Europe. Two, I will deep dive into two major trends, and then I will try, let's say, to find out what might come next. And obviously, I will say a very short word about the three startups that will pitch after my introduction. So the first point is just KPI and overview, just to remind you what is Insurtech, especially in Europe. So the first point, which is, I think, the most important one, is around investment. So here are figures for investment across the world. So basically what you can see is that the investment have been growing over the years. Last year, it was a bit more than 6 billion euros that were dollars, sorry, $6 billion that were invested. And over the first quarter, so just before the kind of crisis and lockdown situation, it was around 1 billion that was invested in Insurtech startup worldwide. So you can see that it's growing. But if we take those figures in details, I would say that the situation is a bit different. So the first one on the left of the screen, you should see the comparison between, in green, fintech investment worldwide, and in blue, Insurtech investment worldwide. So what you can see is that last year, for around $45 billion were invested in fintech, while for Insurtech it was, let's say, only $6 billion. So and as you can see, there is what we could consider 3-4 years of lag between the Insurtech scene and the fintech scene. So that's the first comparison. The second comparison is the major trends that are structuring the fintech investment. So usually around 2010, 2012, it was mainly in lending. Then you had all the wave of huge investment in payments. And more recently, you had huge rounds regarding neobanks. So that's the three major waves. And in Insurtech, we will detail the wave, but basically, and again, 6 billion in Insurtech versus 45 billion in fintech. So we can say that Insurtech investment are still limited. So that's the first point. The second point is in Europe itself. So over the first half of this year, around a bit more than 360 million euros were invested in European Insurtech startup. That's quite nice, because last year, in 2019, it was 800 million over the full year. So basically here, and despite the lockdown, despite the crisis, it's, let's say, around half of what was invested over the full year last year. So 360 million plus invested in first half. But if you compare that to other budgets, so I put it here, public figures. So basically, BNP, the French bank, is spending around 6 billion euros per year in IT budget. So basically, if you compare 360 million invested in Insurtech in Europe, it's almost nothing compared to just the IT budget of BNP. If you compare it to Allianz, in corporate VC firm, sorry, it's written in French. So the corporate VC arm of Allianz, which name is Allianz X, has 1 billion euros to invest. So again, investment across Europe are almost nothing compared to that fund. And if you take two big rounds, so N26, the last round they did maybe more than 6 months ago, was over 420 million euros. And more recently, Lemonade's IPO was over 300 million euros. It was exactly $319 million. So basically, what Lemonade raised during its IPO is everything that was invested in Europe in Insurtech. So that's a way to consider that figure, not that huge. And it's a way for us to consider that Insurtech is still in early days. That's why we are investing at seed stage, by the way. So basically, after the fundraising, I just wanted to share KPIs around one startup, because the truth is that only few startups Insurtech startup in Europe are sharing very detailed KPIs about how they are doing. So here we have an example. So the name is Alan. This is a French one, but again, it is only few startups sharing so much details about their growth journey. So Alan is doing health insurance so far in France. And you can see, so in blue, you have how much they have raised so far. And you can see that they recently raised 50 million euros in April 2020. But what is mainly interesting, I think, is the green line, which is the number of customers they have. And as you can see, in around 3 years, they managed to gather over 75,000 customers. And you can consider that this is one of the fastest growing startups in Europe. That's the reason why they share their KPIs. So, and that's why as well I wanted to display those KPIs and share them with you, because then you can compare with the other one that are sharing KPIs. But again, only few startups are doing it and sharing so much details. And they are now over 60 million euros in annual premium. So that gives you a KPI about what it is, what it's to be a fast-growing Insurtech startup in Europe. So now I will deep dive on two major trends that we spotted over the last weeks and months. So the first one is the distribution through platforms. So platform should be the next insurance distribution channel. That's, by the way, our investment thesis, and it will make a perfect link with we cover later on. So why we consider that? So the first one is back to the number of deals that were done here in 2019. You can see that distribution. So basically, it's a very, let's say, short way to describe the value chain. So price and product, distribution, claim, and on the top, full stack players, meaning players that have the license, like Alan in France, Koya in Germany, and Zigo in the UK, for instance. So basically, if you take the value chain, you see that 75% of the deals done last year were addressing the distribution part of the value chain. Most of the startups are addressing that part of the value chain. A very small amount, 6%, are addressing the price and product part, and 9% are addressing the claim part. But distribution is the key topic. I think that the reason is that maybe this is the easiest part to address to start with, first point. And the second point is that most of the B2C Insurtech startups that we've seen on the market are obviously under this distribution part. But the truth around distribution is around data. So here, and all the insurer players are usually saying that insurance is all about data. So we took that for granted, and then we deep dive and we try to analyze the level of data that insurer really owns about customers. So you can see that insurers on the first line own declarative data. Then you have banks that have a bit more data around their customers because they own the transactional data. But the truth is that platform have everything data. So when it comes to data, insurers have poor data about their customers, whereas platform owns everything and knows everything about their customers. So we strongly believe that a platform have a strong and key role to play here in terms of distribution. And if we take one example, there are many of them, but the one we wanted to take is around teleconsultation. So here you have plenty of teleconsultation players in Europe. We listed over 50 of them across Europe. But if you take the French market, for instance, there is one player that is providing 66% of all teleconsultation that were done in 2019 in France. So basically, one player, Doctolib, a platform connecting doctors and patients, is providing 2/3 of the market in terms of teleconsultation. I think that this is the most powerful example of how a platform can take everything. Because the truth is that every player in France, I mean insurers, mutuals, reinsurance player, they all have, let's say, their teleconsultation partnership with a startup. But again, the truth is that 2/3 of the market is going through only one player, the platform, which is Doctolib. So that's a very strong example, and you will see in appendix after the discussion. There are other examples in health, in car, and in home insurance. It's always the same. Platforms have very strong figures. The second trend is around personalization. So here the idea is to try to better address customer needs thanks to technology. So the first one is 3 trends that we've been watching in the Insurtech space. So there was the first, let's say, kind of trend around mobile brokers. So even WeFox at the beginning was a mobile broker, GetSafe the same, and Knip in Switzerland as well. What they were claiming is that you could gather all your insurance policy in one place to have a better view of what and how you were covered. Another trend that was very strong on the market a few years ago was on-demand insurance, with Trove doing B2C before pivoting to B2B, Fluo in France, and Neosurance that you know, I guess, very well in Italy. And the third trend that we saw on the market was peer-to-peer insurance. So I put 3 names here. Maybe the most known is Friendsurance, that has pivoted recently in bank insurance. But long story short, those 3 trends that were spotted over the last 5-6 years in the Insurtech space are just combining and trying to address exactly the same thing, just-in-time insurance. What is just-in-time insurance is to provide the right product at the right time through the right channel. And the best example we have of just-in-time insurance has nothing to do with insurance, but I'm pretty sure that all of you have experienced this previously. So basically, it's around telco industry. So every time you travel abroad, let's say in the US, for instance, your data plan is not covering your consumption there. So every time you switch on your mobile phone, then you receive an offer to get data, for instance, in the US. So that's the right product. You need data right now to order, let's say, an Uber or something like that. It's at the right time, obviously. You are just leaving the plane and you are to schedule an Uber, and it's through the right channel here. No app, no beautiful user experience. It's just through text message, but it works. So basically, the right product at the right time through the right channel. I think that this is very key for the insurance, and basically it leads to the discussion around invisible financial services, invisible insurance. So that's the second trend. And to go beyond just a quick word, so basically here is a map of, again, a very short summary of the value chain. So here, price and product, underwriting, distribution and claim. That's a study that we ran trying to address and to spot B2B technologies that were addressing each part of the value chain. What I wanted to show and display is that the crisis that we went through, and especially the lockdown situation, accelerated the need for insurer to spot technologies that could enable their employees. So here we are not on disruption, we are on enabling through technologies. That's a very strong trend that we see on the market, and a lot of insurers are asking us, let's say, to share with them startups that we spotted either on all the value chain, that's example here, or on each part of the value chain depending on the business line. So that's a very strong trend that we expect to surge and to keep surging in the next months. The second example that I wanted to share is not enabling, but here is disruption. And the example I always take on claim management is Lemonade. because what they didn't try to have, let's say, a tele-expertise solution, a technology to better do claim management. They say, okay, we will do it in a different way. And it raised two questions because they say, okay, we will reimburse automatically the customer. So here, two questions. The first one is, do I reimburse the customer that I have in front of me? So it's fraud detection. Is it a true claim or is it a fraud? And the second question, when you say that you need to reimburse your customer, is how much do I need to reimburse? So here it's around scoring. So again, they change the process, saying we want to reimburse automatically as much as possible, but then it raised two questions that the technology could address. First, do I reimburse fraud detection? How much I reimburse? Scoring. And here it's a perfect example of how insurers, if they want to embrace exactly the same process, need to find technologies on the ground. And the last point I wanted to mention, it's much more a broader view on what might happen in the insurance space. So that's how we see the future. So if we take the three current strengths of insurers, you have on top customer base. Insurers have millions of customers. That's a strength, obviously. But the truth, as I mentioned before, is that platforms have way more data, and they have on specific vertical, they have many customers as well. So here you can say that platforms are competing with customer base of insurers. The second point is risk assessment. Obviously, insurers have actuaries that knows how to price the risk. But the truth is that thanks to data and algorithm, you can compete with actuaries. So this strength, again, is under threat by external players. The third strength, which is risk carrying, and it's related to the balance sheet of insurer, is under threat of new risk. But the truth is that on that part of the strength power for insurer, the competition is less obvious. So how we see the future of insurer is we see insurer or reinsurers being only risk carrier. And then the challenge for insurer is to embrace technology on risk assessment and to embrace technology, e.g. API, to connect with platform. So basically happy to stay in touch and to discuss further what I just shared, especially if you don't agree with what I mentioned. And before jumping on the three startups that we'll pitch right now, just a very short sentence to introduce them and make a link with the Insurtech trends I mentioned before. So first, you will see Christophe from Zelros. The way we see them, he will explain what he's doing, but the way we see them is B2B technology enabling the augmented insurer. So it's pure technology for insurance employees to boost the way they work. So that's, we think, a very good example. The second example will be Jordi from Recover, and that's a perfect example of insurance distribution through platforms, so enabling insurers distribute their product on platform and on e-commerce website. And the third one, VetterHealth, and it will be Nico that will pitch VetterHealth. So here, perfect example of parametric insurance for new risks, here with weather insurance. Thanks a lot again for listening to me. So I guess Christophe.
Yeah, I think it's the ball is on my side.
Yes.
It seems now you can see my screen, right?
So far we still see you, but I guess that in a few seconds we will see your screen. I guess that now you could take the lead on the screen because I see that on my side.
Yeah, okay.
Sharing. Yeah. So now we see Zelros AI for augmented insurance.
Okay, so thank you very much for inviting us. This is we are very happy to be there. So we are Zelros. We are a company founded 4 years ago. So we are based in Paris, but we also have offices in Germany, Munich and Berlin, as well as in Italy, in Milan. So that's why I'm very happy to present Zelros today. So basically, our vision is very simple, and Florian explained a bit what is behind. If you think about it, leading players in different industries of today are technology companies and software companies. Here you have some example in different industries, and we believe that it will be the same in the insurance and bank insurance industry. Meaning that leading players of tomorrow will be software company, technology companies. And so if leaders and incumbents of today want to remain at the forefront of their business and compete against, on one side, full stack players who are coming on the market, on the other side, big techs who also want to have a share of the insurance pie. So if incumbents want to remain efficient, they have to transform themselves into technology companies. And so at Zeros, it is our mission to help these players to accelerate into this transition. Time to market is crucial in this domain, and so our software are able to help incumbents to accelerate their transition to technology. So where do we apply your solution in the insurance value chain? You know that with technology you can do a lot of things. You can do fraud detection, you can do advanced risk scoring, dynamic pricing, and so on. At one point of time at Zeros, we want to be a leading provider on all this value chain, but we decided to focus on the two orange bubbles on the top here on this circle, mainly everything that is related to customer interaction. Why? Because really putting the customer at the center of the whole organization is truly the future. So our software can be used on the distribution part. So typically the user of software are agents or advisors who are by phone or who are in face-to-face with their policy holders. And we also equip customer representatives more after sales during underwriting or subscription with our software as well. So how is your solution? What is the form of our solution? So as I said on the right, the users of our solution are insurance employees. But by the way, since the Covid-19 crisis, we also saw an acceleration of the necessity of, self-service and self-care capabilities. So it was something we had in the radar with our solution, but something that has been accelerated. So mainly the users of our solution now are also policy holders directly. So our vision is that technology, of course, will help accelerate self-service and self-care, but it won't replace 100% of human beings and of advisors. So we believe that the future will be both of them. So our solution takes the form of an application, a software that is integrated into the environment of the advisor. So typically we integrate into existing CRMs, and our solution, of course, takes decisions. So which cover to put in front of the customer, what arguments to highlight. All these decisions are taken by what we call machine learning and artificial intelligence. Mainly we connect to all insurer data, so maybe claim history, maybe, for example, quote history, of course, CRM database, as well as unstructured data like voice. We also leverage live conversations to detect moment of lives and to help create empathy with the policyholder to take our decisions. So since the COVID-19, we saw an acceleration of the need of this kind of solution. First, because incumbents have to reskill their workforce. You know that there is a need of new types of insurance. Maybe motor insurance have been less success during the COVID, but of course health insurance and as well as B2B enterprise insurances are more and more needed. On how to make that your workforce on sales advisor are efficient in this new type of insurance, you need technology to help them into this transition. First thing. Second thing, I already said it, is the capability of self-service. And third thing is necessity of automation. Of course, operational excellence and cost reduction will be something very important in the future. And so automation with AI is one of the solution. So how do we, so here you can see how our solution is integrated into CRMs. And how do we measure success of our solution? So we measure success by measuring, or actually our customers measure how much you increase the number of quotes on opportunities, because as you have better arguments and better advices, you have better performance. First thing. And second thing, how the win ratio of these quotes is increased. So it is increased by 5 to 20% because it is more relevant, more suited to the customer needs. So at the end of the day, it is more acquired and closed by the customer. So in terms of market, today we have a dozen of customers, both very large incumbents as well as tier 2 digital brokers. We'll go to market goes through partners. So we have local partners in each country we operate, as well as European partners who help us to integrate more easily and faster our solution at the premise of our incumbent customers. And we also have technology partners to help with connectors and APIs, facilitate integration with insurance systems that we find on the ground. So basically, today, as I said, we are 50 of us. We will be happy if in the audience some of you are interested to explore in more detail and offer demonstration of our solution for distribution of customer service to make a dedicated presentation. And again, thank you to all of us for your attention. And of course, I'm available at any moment for if you have any question.
Thanks, Christophe. So I guess it will be the turn of Jordi, and I guess that you will be able to share your screen in a few seconds from now. So now that Christophe has removed his screen, I guess that Jordi, you can share yours.
Yet?
Not yet.
Now I can see it. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see, we cover.
Okay, perfect. Buongiorno tutti. Thanks, Florian. Thanks to the Italian Association for the opportunity. So, grazie mille per l'attenzione. Let me introduce you to WeCover. And as Florian discussed earlier, the WeCover is about distribution through insurance platforms. So basically what we do is that we place the insurance solution in the right moment in the point of sale, either physical point of sale, let's say store, either an e-commerce and online store, but always through a digital process. So what we do is that we have built up an in-house technology, a kind of plugins that can be placed anyway in any place in a digital environment, and that facilitates the offering and the selling, the quote and buy process for any kind of product. So basically the three main elements that makes we cover a distinctive proposition is that it's based on an in-house technology. We have developed this technology based on the insurance expertise, and it provides to the customer a distinctive digital experience as we are offering the insurance solution right when he's purchasing any other kind of product and services. So as we all have discussed, insurance expertise and digital expertise is key to provide these kind of solutions, and we come from the both worlds. So my partner co-founder Rafa Gallardo is the digital officer, and he comes from the digital world, so he's very aware about the latest technologies in terms of digital experience. And I come from the insurance world, based on sales, underwriting, operations as well. So what we are doing is partnering with digital native companies. So what we believe is that we cover is the natural partner for all the companies, and that they want to provide insurance as part of the value proposition that they are bringing to the market. So what we are doing is providing these IT plugins that make it easy to the customer and that have no development for the partner to implement this kind of solution. So this has accelerated in the last times, and as we all know, the main digital change has been Covid-19. So with Covid-19, what we have done is we have advanced in digital transformation at least 5 years. So there are less barriers, less psychological barriers to purchase online. There are more digital. There is more digital offer, and there is all kind of patterns in terms of customer behavior, education, consumer work management have turned to using digital technologies. This is affecting all customer segments, all kind of profiles, and what it takes more and more relevance and more importance is the user experience and how valuable is what we are offering in the right moment. So what we are addressing to digital partners, any kind of company that has a large base of customers that they want to add an insurance offer. We are facilitating this process. This process is totally IT development for the digital partner, and it provides qualitative value for the customer. It provides also quantitative value for the partner. We are also working with insurance companies, with those companies that they want to transform quote and buy process that is still online in a totally digital online quote and buy process. And not only transforming to digital, or also placing this capability in any digital environment. So this widget can be placed in an affinity business, in a newsletter, in an app, in whatever any digital environment that the company is interested in placing this solution. And finally, customers are also interested in getting this digital experience, have all the tracking process of how it's going, and understanding easily with all transparency what kind of product, insurance product is buying, and having the policy immediately in their email box. So basically, we have two collaboration models. We are a technology company that we are facilitating these capabilities in terms of developing these insurance solutions in the front end, in the onboarding process. We are adapting the customer look and feel in the user experience, and we are offering also the analytics and admin tools to optimize this process. At the same time, we are looking for the right, we discussed earlier, the just-in-time insurance means also to get the right product at the right moment. So in every platform, depends on what kind of platform do you have and what kind of products and services are you selling. We are placing the right product, the right insurance solution. So we are managing with the companies what kind of product can be developed, what kind of product we can place there. And also providing a customer experience that is totally seamless, and that the customer feels that is joining a very easy process. So The platform is basically a middleware suite that is the one that is managing the whole transaction. And based on this middleware that we have developed internally, we are connecting with insurance companies, also with broker ARP, with analytics and CRM systems, and we are doing all the batch processes as well with those companies that are not ready for having a web connectivity. In the upper side, we are providing the front-end pieces, and the front-end pieces are developed like widgets and plugins that can be provide a one-click insurance onboarding experience. So that means that we are placing just one check in an e-commerce platform that is want to include the insurance in this checkout process, and the system is reading the rest of the data from the customer where the plugin is allocated. That means in the e-commerce platform, and we make then a straightforward process that goes through the checkout and provides a full digital experience. We are also providing a white label solution. That means that we can develop the online quote and buy process for any platform that can be placed in a website, in a newsletter, in a landing, in a APP, and this can be provided as a white labeling. And all these kind of solutions, as we discussed, are with no development from the partner side. So, as I said, we have standardized these three B2B models. The first one is the widget for e-commerce. This is a one-click process. We are placing this check in the e-commerce checkout process. We are providing a white label solution for quote and buy, and we are also providing a solution for point of sale for physical stores that you are activating the insurance in a digital process. So the store is selling the insurance as a gift card, and then the customer is activating the insurance in the right moment using a QR code, a URL. So some examples of integrations that we have done recently with FinTonic. FinTonic is a fintech, a Spanish fintech with more than 800,000 customers that is aggregating all your bank accounts, and where we have provided the insurance for smartphones. So the solution is totally integrated, is fully white label, so the customer has the perception that is going through FinTonic, and we have provided the solution and the insurance product as well. Same kind of solution with Telefónica, with Pleiade for the affinity business of Telefónica. We are providing insurance solutions for pet insurance and also for scooters and bikes. And finally, last example, this one is a one-click example. We are working with Endesa, which is the largest utility firm in Spain, and they have an online store where you can purchase a bike or a scooter, and then it's as easy as selecting the insurance that you want to add to your chart and to your shopping cart, and then it goes straight forward to the process to check out. So the company, the e-commerce is getting the money from the insurance, and then we are doing some, the kind of compensation on that. But the IT process is fully integrated in the online platform. So we are developing this long-term partnership with many digital partners, as you can see, and basically our ambition is to be the natural partner for the digital companies that are growing and growing. So we are working closely together with many startups that are developing businesses for product and services, and we are including and embedding the possibility to offer the insurance with them. So thanks for the opportunity. Happy to share our model with you, and of course happy to share any doubt that you can have later on. So thanks again.
Thanks, Jordi, for this insight on WeCover. Now we will have Nico from Better Health. So I assume that in a few seconds from now, you will be able to share your screen. So still with Jordi right now. Nico.
Hi, everybody. Can you see my screen and can you hear me?
Alors, we can hear you so far, and we can see you, by the way, but we cannot see your screen for the moment. I assume that now you could share it. Yes. Now we see Better Health. So the floor is yours.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having the opportunity to present to Italian audience. And my name is Nikolaus, founder of Wetterheld. And the problem that we are solving and working on is very serious, and you all know it, extreme weather, which hits small businesses more than large businesses. And this is what happened in Germany in the past 4 years. 2017 and also 19, up to 80% of apple blossoms were destroyed by cold temperature. And then we had a very rainy year in 2017. Garden Fair Berlin, for example, lost 10 million euro due to rain, because people are not going to look at a garden fair when it's raining the whole time. And then we had droughts, 2018, 2019, also 2020. On the right-hand side, you see a drought map of Germany, and everything that's dark red means the soil is dry, and it's really hard to grow plants in dry soil. Not going to work. So what we have built here is an easy personalized weather insurance, which you can buy instantly on your mobile phone. So it's like really just a couple of taps. I'll demonstrate it in a minute. And I put some stickers in my presentation just because our event here is about the COVID and reaction to COVID. And I wanted to reflect what was good in COVID times, where we were lucky. So having a mobile phone solution is something that was actually good, because obviously you don't need to meet in person to purchase your insurance on the mobile phone. Then this insurance product is personalized to your individual risks, and the claims are paid out instantly and automatically, which is also good. There is no need for a claim process in person or visiting any fields or anything. So like, just imagine you're a farmer living in a very small town, rural lifestyle, and you own a corn and rapeseed farm. That's a customer of ours. The moment you decide to plant corn, what you have is a drought risk. The risk that the lack of rain will lead to having you harvesting much less corn than you expected. And this kind of weather risk affects many different industries. Agriculture with dry summers, but also construction with cold winters, or events, showmen, restaurants, hotels with rainy summers. Some of these industries have been not affected by the COVID situation at all. Those are in green, like construction and agriculture. Some of those have been affected because there was some ban on events, obviously, and this is in red. And some are slowly opening up, like beer gardens, where people feel much more comfortable sitting outside, outdoors, than sitting in a cramped area indoors. So all those industries have weather risks, and we want to insure all of these small businesses against bad weather. One of the market that we started with was the agricultural market with the drought risk, because drought risk is 276 million euro damages per year on average in Germany, but only a very, very small amount of farmers have an insurance. On the other hand, if you see at the left-hand side at this pie chart, hail insurance is 26% of damage per year, but 70% of farmers already have an insurance. So the great opportunity is to go and find those many farmers out there with a drought risk who don't have drought insurance, who do have hail insurance, and give them a product which will be actually helping them to cover the drought risk. In a drought year, farmer can lose up to 50% of their revenue due to drought. So like, just to give you an example in numbers, normal revenue for a farmer of corn, 100 hectares in Germany, 180,000 euro. In drought years, just 100,000 euro. So you have a drought risk of 80,000 euro. And our drought insurance reduces this risk, financial stress, uncertainty, and it can save the future of your family business. So actually, a lot of farmers had to sell land after 2018 because they couldn't pay their bills anymore due to drought. So if a farmer of corn goes through the year, there are plenty of touch points where we can actually offer him the drought insurance. One of these would be in December when he buys seeds. And our vision is, if he buys seeds online, then to offer him drought insurance as easy as you know it from the travel insurance with Ryanair. If you book a flight with Ryanair, you get travel insurance offered, same as with the German railway. They also offer you travel insurance. Why not offer a farmer drought insurance just the second he buys seeds from agricultural produce which is afflicted by drought? Same as at the touch point of fertilizer purchase, or at the very last moment when you apply the fertilizer and looking forward to the growth period, that's the last moment to buy drought insurance. So I would like to show you a very short product demo, but this time not for drought, like we've spoken about drought so much. The opposite, now we have rainy times in Germany, is rain. So here you see our Facebook ad for restaurant owners, where we show some pictures of restaurants being empty due to rain, real life pictures, and a small introduction to our product. Restaurant owners then go and see our website, where here they land on this rain insurance product. You can try it yourself. It's all live, it's all working. Please buy insurance only if you really want to be covered, because it's a real life product. So here you can choose, are you a restaurant or event organizer? Let's say I just spoke with a pizzeria owner, and we'd like to insure our pizzeria in a period somewhere in August, and we want to insure it on weekends in August. So I say insure against rain, and there I have all the days in August selected, but I only want to insure my pizzeria against rain on Saturdays and Sundays, because that's the days where people do come and visit, and it's between 5 and 10 p.m. where I want to insure. So I just apply those days of week. So now we have only Saturdays and Sundays, 5 to 10 p.m. This is where I'm going to be insured against rain. Now I choose a business location, and I just type in pizzeria and take the first one, let's say this one in Cologne. Here is my location. And now that's an important point now. Your insurance payout depends on the weather as measured by the official weather station, which is closest to your business. So I confirm the weather station for my contract, and it's 4.7 kilometers from my business location. And this is like the magic which helps us not to ask the business owner, did he lose money or not? Because the weather station will give us weather data online. After I've chosen the weather station, that's it. I can choose how much rain is bad for my business in millimeters, and some description of like what is it in the real world, like 35 minutes of rain. I can choose how much money I lose on a normal rainy day compared to a non-rainy day, and I can reduce the price because I've chosen 8 days to cover against rain. But what if it rains only on 1 day? I don't need to cover this, so I can reduce the number of insured days and make the insurance cheaper. That's it. After this, it's only enter your data, and then you can purchase the insurance. So just to give you a demo of the magic, what happens behind all of this, we have an API connection to our insurance partner called Element Insurance. And here you can see the quote that I just received, and you can see that Element Insurance gave the price that you just saw on the screen from their server, and all the documents to the insurance, everything via API. And when the moment of truth in every insurance is the moment where you need to actually have the claim payment, and this is also a real example of how this works. If you want to claim the money from your weather insurance, that's like a contract which was bought for drought insurance for 4,000 euro, and there is 50,000 euro of claims on that contract. And here you can see for every day how much rain there was on that weather station that you selected. And for some of the days there was some rain. It's a drought insurance, so we don't pay anything. And then on the last days, you see we wanted to have 6 days of rain, but we didn't. We only had 1. So the last 5 days without rain is 10,000 euro claim that the customer can claim here. So this is how our insurance worked, like behind the scenes. Again, that's the API connection with Element Insurance that we have built here. And well, what was also good for us in the COVID times, that we already had sufficient funding. We're raising funds now. It's a bit harder in COVID times, but we have sufficient funding until July of next year. And our whole team is working always 100% remote from 5 countries. So we didn't have to adjust to the COVID situation in that regard, and ready to face the new normal, whatever is going to come. Thank you so much for your attention and looking forward to your questions. Don't be afraid of bad weather, please.
Thanks, thanks, Nico. Thanks, Jordi. Thanks, Christophe. I don't know whether we have time for a few questions right now, and if there is any question. Simone, how do you want to proceed? Do you have any?
Yeah, I will ask to anybody if there is any question, and I would like to ask to fill possible question in the messaging platform. And okay, let's see. First of all, in the meanwhile, that participant is writing down some possible question, I would like to thank you. First of all, Florian, for the coordination and the participation and the partnership with the Italian Insurtech Association. I would like to really thank all the participants and actually let them know that this is actually can be a first step to the collaboration with us, with the Italian market. The Italian Insurtech Association has, in terms of goals, also to support the insurtechs that are developing in other countries in order to develop in Italy. So I would like to say to Jordi, Christophe, and to Nico that we would be very interested, guys, to support you the development on the Italian market through partnership and proper introductions. So this is part of our mission, and that this was just a starting point for our collaboration. So you can count on our support and my personal support in particular. Let's see, there is a question that I write actually, is for Christophe. Christophe, have you run into challenges with the educating insurers around in terms of your solution? And additionally, what is the involvement and the response of brokers to your solutions?
Yeah, thank you for asking. So regarding the first question, indeed, our solution, radically change the way advisors on agents work. So of course, changing habits is always something that has to be that is challenging. But is at the end of the day that our technology is well received because it helps the advisor to focus on its expertise, on what is complex, and to be helped by the machine and by algorithm to process everything that is repetitive, that is low value, and so our solution is very well received. Regarding the second question, for the moment, we don't have many brokers using our solution because they are not large enough to use it. The ROI, the return of interest of our solution is clear when you have hundreds or thousands of users. But we are working on a version for brokers. And we have 2 brokers using your solution. In this case, the best use case is automating subscription. So we have 2 examples of how to automate with computer vision motor insurance subscription.
Okay, thank you very much, Christophe. Now I have a question for Nico. Nico, actually, what is the approach of the regulators in the German market, and how does it change, in your opinion, the approach of regulators to inspect your product in Europe? Maybe there is no impact, there is impact, there is an average impact, it's changing country by country. What do you think?
Well, our product is from a regulatory point of view, quite a simple one. there are 2 points where we ourselves have an impact from regulation, and it's 2 manual steps that are required in our whole process by the regulator. One manual step is that our client needs to file a claim to receive a payment on his parametric insurance contract. So even if we could pay him automatically because we know he is insured against rain, it was raining because we downloaded the data, we cannot just transfer him the money, wire him the money. He needs to manually make a claim, and we make it as easy as possible, giving him an email which he just needs to press one button in that email. And the second part is, after this claim comes into the insurance company, we still need to have a manual review of that claim because it's regulatory requirement. And again, we make it extremely easy, showing the claim manager on a screen the weather that was insured and the weather that was happening according to the weather station. So it's just one click to say, okay, let's go and pay that claim. Those are in our process, the 2 touch points with regulation that we have, besides of course all the consumer protections and the 6 documents that we need to give to every customer and nobody reads them. But besides that, we didn't have any impact from regulation on our product yet. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, Nico, thank you so much. Very clear, and really looking forward to details in the near future. Now I have actually a question from that I received from one of our associates on WhatsApp related to Jordi. Jordi, which are the industries that you see more reactive to distribution of insurance services through your platforms? What is happening in different industries that want to integrate insurance products like utilities, telcos, retailers? Which kind of trend do you see, and who is more ready, let's say, readiness in terms of industry?
Okay, I would say companies that see more threats are those that still rely on offline processes and that rely on people who is assessing on the process of sale. This means that they don't want to spend any more time or any time dedicated to insurance, and they don't see an additional value. But in particular, when you show them that this does not mean additional time, and that does mean that this does mean qualitative value for customers, they are more interested in those aspects than in the quantitative value that comes from the commission. Because in the end, what we are doing is that we are sharing commission that comes from insurance company to those partners. And of course, this is something that is relevant and is very interesting for them. But in particular, the companies that are really likely to embed the insurance solution are those that are really feeling that this is adding value from a qualitative perspective to their customers. And in particular, the most prepared ones for that are native digital companies that are testing with customers the reliability of the insurance, the importance of the insurance, and once they have tested, they are including the offer.
Really, thank you, Jordi. So, thanks a lot. The time is running out. Once again, in name of the Italian Insurtech Association, thanks a lot to Florian who have organized all that. And once again, we believe this to be first step of a long-term partnership. Thanks to Jordi, thanks to Christophe, thanks to Nico. And also, I would like to underline how this was the beginning of a possible support for entrance into the Italian market, if this is interesting to you, and you can count on our support. Additionally, for everybody, and also we follow the rest of our associates, contents of this webinar will be available online, the site of insurtechitaly.it, and as a video content, and in few days also as a podcast, in order, as usually it happens, for all the associates and friends to use the content later on. Once again, I thank you everybody for your time, and see you very soon to all of you guys. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.